Hello. All right, welcome to another stream. I think I just like dropped stuff on the floor. I was like, oh no, I forgot to blow it up so I can see what's happening. Hi, George Pencil Art. George is gonna be on his phone making some food. I love it when George brings food to the party. Okay. Hopefully we're not having any problems. I just saw a warning pop up that says you guys could possibly see some buffering. So let me just take 1 second before we start. Double check that. I don't know. How is it on you guys' end? Let's check into the rest of the chat and make sure. All good on your side, Tara says. All right, great. Wonderful. That is true. Good question. Good question, Joseph. I went with the little latency on the stream so that hopefully things will come through faster. Anyways, hopefully everything's working fine. You guys will let me know if it's not. So we're all good, right? Right. All right. Was it? Okay, so the song was. Maybe it was just too much of me. I don't know. All right. So, sound is good. Excuse me. So the video is good. Okay. I just put some. I am like, well, I'm a hot mess, guys. I'm a hot mess. Welcome to the stream. It's another week with me, the hot mess artist. I should change my name. I'm just like, Vix, it's your best friend when you have coughing and. Today I've been crazy, been running around. Just got back from the doctor's office for some new, hopefully that's going to stop any coughing from happening. We'll see. Because allergy stuff is going really crazy. I got scared. It gave me a scare. I even actually took a, yes. Thank you, Tara. Tara says, we'll send out an SOS. Okay. It gave me a scare because it was like, I was coughing and I woke up and I was like, oh no, hi Dylan. And it gave me a sore throat and I was like, oh no, we all know it has symptoms like that. So took a test. No, it wasn't that. So I knew it wasn't that. Made an appointment. My doctor's like, I can only get you one on Thursdays. I'm like, I don't take appointments on Thursdays. My secretary should have told you that. I don't have a secretary. No. Excuse me. So anyways, I have Jeep blown hair today and I just got back from the appointment. She gave me some new stuff, so hopefully that's going to help. So you guys don't need to know all that. Let's move on. Today, welcome. Today's stream, I was like, what am I going to do? And I said, you know what? I have not. Oh no. Ugh, Dylan, I hope they get better quickly. So I was like, you know what? I have not touched yet that I've been dying to get my hands into. My Graphitint. So I have the paint pan set. Of course, everything I saw that Joseph posted in the beginning, yes, everything is linked in the description below. And in fact, I was just doing that before I started, and I was like, excuse me. The Vicks will calm it down. And if not, please bear with me. Medicine is coming. I was like, can't they have it ready? No, it's delayed. It is delayed, and I won't get it till tomorrow. So, Derwent. I love Derwent. We all know I love Derwent. I'm going to let's shift things up. And I apologize because I checked to make sure everything down below was set. But I didn't look at each one. Okay. I want this one. There we go. And hey, what happened? What just happened with that? We're good? Hopefully we're good now. I think we are. But that moved it kind of a little bit out of... Let me back this off just a bit. Oh, you're going to see some of the stuff that I have on the... Oh, I went to 0. Hey, we're very professional here, guys. We're very professional. I moved my camera because I got a... wow. I got an adapter for a different lens because I'm not digging this lens that's on here. I mean, I guess when I watch the playbacks, you guys can pretty much see, but sometimes I just feel like it's just not focusing quite the way I want it to. Whatever. We're always trying to make improvements. So I moved my camera slightly so things aren't exactly where they were. All right. We're looking at Derwent Graphitint Paint Pan set today. And of course, as I do, I just thought, okay, I just saw, why is that down there? Just saw Dee's question, and let's get to that. So the Derwent Graphitint Paint Pan set, I've never used it before. So what better time to use it for the first time than when we're live, right? But it's always fun. That's always fun. And in true me fashion, I felt that not only was I going to swatch these out, check the colors, I have a thing in my sketchbook that I had started, plein air, and then I thought I had time. I ran out of time, so I didn't get there. And I was going, excuse me, did I hear choppiness? Okay, Joseph says just him. I'm not getting the warning anymore. The warning's gone. So if you guys were getting some, it looks like it's going to clear up. So fingers crossed. Anyhow, I said, like, what do? I love to just see, what can I throw at this stuff? And how can I use it? So let's talk about Graphitint. This is the Paint Pan Pocket Set. You'll see that it comes with this little swatch card. It's ASMR for anybody? Anyone? So there are my colors. I was really excited because they look like they are going to granulate, which I can really get excited about some granulating colors. They can be used, or they are used, like a watercolor. Now, I don't have the Graphitint pencils with the exception of this one that I received in an art box. I'm not recalling which art box. I've probably already shared it with you guys. But this is Midnight Black. And it may have even came in the art box that these came in, which I never got to do something with. So these were in one of my art boxes. Again, apologies because I don't know which one. It's been a while. So this is the only pencil I have. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to pull it out because if this color, which is the Midnight Black, and do we have Midnight Black in here? Wow. I didn't know. I didn't know glasses would be a requirement for this stream. Doesn't look like it. So I'm assuming, hate to do that. How about assumption? I just make an assumption. Never mind. Anyhow. There are more colors in the pencils than there are in the pans, apparently, because I only have 12 colors here. Midnight Black is not one of them. So I was like, oh, why could you always just use the Midnight Black and compare, like, how's the pencil to the pan? But we can still do that with one that's similar. So what else did I want to do with this on this stream? Well, if you saw, I had in my description, if you got to read any of that, and on my thumbnail, what am I going to throw at these today? I grabbed everything I could possibly think of that when I put this down on the paper, what could I add to these? Oh, and I forgot one thing. Oh, do I have it right here? Excuse me. Well, I was hoping it was my flow improver. Wow, sorry guys. But this is Wedding Agent by Golden, which is the one thing that's not linked in the description. I didn't know because this is reduces the surface tension of the water. I didn't know if maybe this would make it flow more or less. something that we could possibly look at. I'm putting it back in my drawer for now. If we don't get to it, it's fine. Wow. And the more I talk, the more it makes it a little. So we're going to get to a lot more of this. Apologies. If it gets too bad, you know, I'll just stop. Because I don't want to put you guys through that. Because I don't want to listen to it. All right. So they come wrapped and, well, let's just slide off. Oh, I see it on the back. It's like, it keeps everything in. It comes with a brush, sponge, 12 half pans in this little palette that you can take with you. Derwent makes a few palettes like this with Inktense. There's some, don't they have pastels? Anyways, they have like some watercolors. So there's a few palettes that are like this. So today's stream, oh, one of my colors just fell out. I'm glad I didn't have like, oh, I'm glad I had my hands over that because as you see, one of my colors, it fell out, but here it is. So if you want to see what that can looks like, I mean, it's pretty full. Right, so there is your Graphitint, and you can see the shimmers in it. So I'm really excited to see what, not only what can I, like what kind of reactions might I get if, say, I throw salt on it, or will it react with alcohol, or I have a bunch of stuff on, let me just back it out. There is a bunch of stuff on the desk here. I have a bunch of stuff up there. I think I went too far, but I have a bunch of stuff up there. I have the masking pens because in my sketchbook, I used this in my sketchbook. So the page that I want to paint on, that's why I was like, oh, I chose it. Hi, Steven. I chose this, or I chose that as a possibility to paint when we get through this, because I want to know if it dries, like, can I lift the masking off? Or if I use the, you know, pickup for masking, is it, and this is a large one, if you guys see, like, it looks wonky, it's because I cut it. This one was like twice its size. I was like, I don't need that. This is actually usually kept in my watercolor go bag. And some of these supplies are also usually kept in there. But this here, oh, thank you, D. Lynn. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She is on it. There are the colors for those of you, because I can't read them today. Anyhow, I want to see if I use this, is it going to affect the Graphitint? And I'm going to test that before I would even get there. So before I'm even going to paint that page in my sketchbook, I'm going to make sure that this is not going to negatively impact that. But I have a bunch of other stuff to use, so I can't wait. Now this also comes with a Derwent water brush. I have like a 3-pack of Derwent water brushes here. And again, you're probably going to find, with the exception, I don't think I linked the pickup, but you're going to find all of these things listed below. I try to really cover everything that I might go over in there. So I'm not going to fill this one today because, actually, you know what? No, we will. I have it. I have my stuff right here. And this is my distilled water. So I have to label it distilled water, because this is the one that goes in my go bag, which if you guys have seen me before, like I've talked about, like you can actually take the, well, Stephen, we will fix that. We will fix that. We will make it better. Just hang out with us for a while. You'll be laughing. It'll be fun. I'll make a total fool of myself. I'll do some crazy stuff and it'll be great. So anyhow, I could pop this part out for my paint puck in there or not. Just use this outer side to clean. If you guys haven't seen it, I've done a video on that. So sometimes, like if I just have this, I could grab this and a sketchbook. Let's go. Right? Gone. So I keep distilled water in here. But my point is, I'm not going to try to pour this into this. No. Why? We have a pipette for that. I I can't laugh. I can't make myself laugh today because if I do, I'm just going to make myself cough. And I was like, I was contemplating this morning. I was like, should I cancel the stream or just go with it? And I was like, well, I'll give myself the morning to see how things go, which I did, and knew I had my appointment. So I was like, you know what? No, I want to go because I need to find that funny duo. Excuse me. I'm going to set this in here, and then I'm going to take the top, and I always try to screw these backwards because I always want to go like this, like right as tight, but it's not with the water pens usually. Wait a minute. Remember that show? Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Yeah, maybe not. Okay, there we go. I got it. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate you. Hopefully it will be much improved by next week. It is just like all of a sudden just exploded like allergies. I also got my Derwent line markers. They are listed. What are those? Oh, what's those? What is those, Tara? I'm just going to pull out one. And the reason that I grabbed these is because, you know what? You could do line and wash with your Graphitint. And so I thought that'd be a good idea. Like I could come in with a regular pencil. This happens to be one of my favorite mechanical pencils. It is not any fun. But thank you, Cat Sour Pigs. So this is one of my favorites. It's not listed below. It's a Graphic Gear 300 made by Pentel. But I could use regular pencil, or if I wanted to sketch it, I could sketch with a Graphitint pencil, because then that's going to be water soluble. It's just going to kind of blend in with everything. So that'd be a great thing that you could do too if you have both. But if you don't, don't worry about it. What are those? What are these? The pipettes? They're like these magical things that multiply. They just multiply. They're like, what? When you order them, always read the fine print. Or, ask the art fairy to bring you some. I don't know. Whatever. So anyhow, also reading the fine print. Today I also have out a Generals. I didn't link this. This was the other thing I didn't link. So my Generals kneaded eraser. This is a brand new one. And when I ordered these, I actually have the... Guys, I thought I was ordering... excuse me. I thought I was ordering one box. I thought I was ordering one eraser, and it was going to be, like one of the larger kneaded erasers. No, my friends. No. You want erasers? I'm going to have kneaded erasers for a lifetime. Or at least a very long time. I won't want for them. So I was like, you know what? Maybe 1 month, that will be a sample I send to my patrons on the art supply sample tier where I send them out. Okay. So we have the water and the pen. All of a sudden my eye is like, I don't know if you guys can see it. Hopefully not, because it is like just started twitching. It has been a day. The the Derwent Water Brush Multi-Pack comes with 3 different points. And I've really been wanting to try these to see, are they different? And I know I already filled the other one, but this one's like, I don't know, it's kind of small. And I think maybe. And I might just use these today as, you know which one I'll do? I'm going to fill the flat one. Because then if I want one that's wider, I'll just use that one. And then I kind of let me know one versus the other, like how I like them. So one more time with the pipette. I have got alcohol, salt, granulation medium, although they already granulate, so that kind of might be redundant. I'm just looking at what's on my desk here. And I put in the description, like, let me know in the comments, what do you want me to, there are art fairies about, aren't there? So what do you want me to throw with these? Is there something that you're like, maybe you have the Graphitint and you haven't tried it yet, but you're like, gee, I wonder, does that react to salt? Or what if I do a wet and wet wash? Or what if I do this? Or what if? What is your blank? Fill in the blank. What's your thing? Let's find out. Like, let's try it. I want to really experiment with these today. I'm just going to set those right there in front of my topiary and see what they do. So, I'm going to use the Derwent line marker, and this one is the 0.5. And I'm going to use that basically, I'm like, where did I put the box? Where did I go? That box, it is no help for me there. I thought, well, maybe it'll have all those colors listed. They're just on the swatch, and I know Dylan did that. And yeah, I will. I'm definitely going to. Maybe they're thirsty. Well, George, you just have to ask. I guess you just have to ask her and hope. All right, we have autumn brown. So let me write down, I'm going to write these colors. So we have, there's this Graphitint. Right now, why are you guys not able to see that? I'm in the wrong spot. Oh, while we're doing this, I'm just going to take some plain old distilled water. And I don't know how necessary it is. I don't know how quickly these activate. So I'm just going to give my palette a spritz. And I'm just going to do it away from this paper. And this one, oh my gosh, look, can you guys see that before I do this? Look at that pan. Like, that pan is so full. This one, it is like right up out of the pan. It is overfilled. So thanks, Derwent. And it, like, it's disappointing when you get some and they're like, you look at the pan, the half pan that you got, and you're thinking, could they have just filled it? Just at least to the top. Excuse me. Okay. I thought I also, oh, I do. You know what might help? 1 second. I have to share these with you guys. You're gonna love them. Well, I love them. I was like, one of those might help. But that's not what I want to share with you. Look at these. These were a gift. Yes, I got these. It was like Christmas thing. And it's getting warm in the studio. They're happy little trees. They're mints. I thought they're fantastic. And they actually aren't too bad. I just don't have that stuff often. So I'm going to put one of these, and it's not gum, but maybe that will help. Because their altoids are curiously strong. Okay. Nice. Uh-oh. Tab broke. Did you get them open? Sounds like you got them open. Oh, that's a great point. Thanks for sharing that. Excuse me. Well, you saw that I just dropped one out. Now, when you wet them, they don't like really set into the pan well, or no? I don't know. All right, so these are the paint pans, plural. And there is the autumn brown. Wow. I know if I put my glasses on, I'll probably see it better. But usually when all my stuff is acting up and affecting my eyes, if I put my glasses on and then take them off, it's almost like make you dizzy because they're just cheaters. I don't need glasses. I have very good vision. It's just like, oh, any of you who have fibromyalgia, that's one of my symptoms. Like it can affect my eyesight and sometimes that'll be blurry and it's not fun. But I can't see anything. Nothing. I'm like, I just happen to catch my expression. That, yeah. Drinking game. Every time Angela makes a funny face, you drink. You guys would be that's not, I do not encourage. I'm not encouraging. Not encouraging. Just drink water. I'll keep you well hydrated. All right, we have russet. I'm gonna try to do this quickly because meadow, green gray. Because the longer I have these on, the more they will affect my eyesight. It's actually given me like almost like a vertigo type feeling when I take them off sometimes. Slate green. And then I can look up at you and be very studious. Or not. Just saying. The pen, I haven't tried their pencil extenders. I need to. And ocean blue. I have some pencil extenders. I can't talk and write at the same time. And then we've got steel blue. Dark indigo. It's getting really hot in here. I'll be happy when the heat wave is gone. We did have a day. We got one reprieve that it didn't go. It was like 75 was our high. Well, that was lovely. Still warm, but it wasn't 90. Juniper. Port. And graphite gray. So those are your colors in your set. All right. That's that. Now, excuse me. Dog gone mad. All right, Tara's off taking care of the dog. Now, the other thing I want to see is, are they transparent? Do we know? I mean, I know they're great. They say that they're going to be like granulating, but are they transparent? Let's just find out. And oh, look at that. I'm even using my Derwent roller, not linked in the description. It was something I got in an art box, and I love it. It's very handy. All right. I'm just going to, yeah, I'm going the whole distance. I wasn't going to do the swatch this way. I was going to do them a little different, but I don't care if the line goes all the way through. I just want to see how we can see that through it. Is it showing up or is it covering? Are they transparent? Are they more opaque? We will see. We will see. All right. There's that. See if I can get that up where you can see. Nice. And I apologize because I don't normally put anything, food or otherwise, other than water. Stay hydrated. When we're streaming, because. All right. Let's look at, I pre-wet them, and I can tell you it is warm in here today, and it looks like oh, nice. Okay. Darn it, if it just would stop. I do have the the water. We're gonna test those. We're gonna try them. We will. I just want to real quick just get through these, put some color down just for a quick swatch. So we're gonna start with our autumn brown. And we're just gonna do a nice, just dipping in the water. And I'm coming back because I want to know if I make this a nice, juicy wash, do I get better granulation that way? Like I know with the super granulating colors and some of the just granulating colors in general, the wetter the wash, the better the granulating effect. Okay, and I'm going to bring just a little bit here beside it, just so we can see, do they move at all? And if so, how? All right. So there's Autumn Brown. Next, we're going to have Russet. And so far, I mean, giving that little spritz, and then, so you know how long it's been since I did that. These feel very, like, I'm not struggling to get that on my brush. There's the Russet. Ooh, is quite almost like an olive type green in its mass tone. Very, very earthy. These are going to do some wonderful, I could see them definitely doing some wonderful landscapes. Just going to get a little bit more of that pigment, put it in there, rinse that out. Same thing, clean water, coming back. All right. Now, I saw that almost like push, like a bloom. Will they bloom? I don't know. I'm going to leave that one alone because that would answer that question. Hello, Jacqueline. Well, we are glad that you are here. Why is my other chat not scrolling? I see, because I have you guys up on my phone. That's what I was starting to do just as we came on live. I was like, oh no, I'm not done. I forgot to put it on my phone. Because it's kind of catching my eye here. But when you guys type question because Tara did that at the beginning, said, if you have a question, type out the word question. It puts a huge yellow on my screen. So when we are live, if you have a question you want me to see, certainly put question. If you just want to tag, something that you want me to notice, you can just tag at Clark Fine Art. And but yeah, if you have a question that you definitely want to make sure that I don't miss, type question in all caps, because it goes big and bold. So Meadow, that's a nice green. That is a nice green. Let's grab a little more. Drop that in there. I could see like a fun, fast landscape. Granulating spray. I do have granulation medium. So here'd be my question. Could I spray granulation medium and then have a granulating spray? It's possible. If I had an empty spray bottle here, I'd give it a try, because why not? I don't think I have one. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't think I have one handy, but now you have my mind wondering. I'll try it. I'm gonna try it. I will grab another spray bottle and see. Can you use granulation medium in a spray bottle and have a granulating spray? I would think so. Don't know, but no, I have not tried granulating spray specifically. All right, green. This is green gray. Excuse me. Maybe the green shows up, but let's get some more water on that. These are so just by doing these swatches, I mean, these pick up and they are moving around. Now this is the B 100% cotton watercolor paper. On this paper, is it the Graphitint? I mean, I have other paper that I could try. They're like velvety. Is that, I guess that would be a good way to describe them. It's like, they're very soft and like creamy. I don't know when that dries if it's going to look different for that green gray, but to me it's just looking very gray and not so much any green. Okay. So I know we're going to put some alcohol with these because Tara said wanted me to do that. So we certainly will give them a spritz with that and see. When these, I'm doing these first because when these dry, I'm going to be able to test my, the way that just worked. I bet we could get some really good dry texture with this too, like a dry brush technique. I bet it would. So we're going to try some alcohol and see, do they react with that? We will try some salt. I also have another thing. I hear everybody in their videos like, oh, throw some salt on it. And they're talking about salt. We use salt. It is a crystalline structure. And it gives us some neat effects in our watercolor work. I think we could all kind of agree on that. But I don't hear people talking about sugar. Also a crystalline structure. And you can use all different salts. I have to do a video on that. Excuse me. A video on that for you guys. The different kind of salts. Because I have quite a few. Especially because Lou does, like, he cooks on a smoker. So he uses some different salts when he does that, like to prepare the food that he's putting on it. So I have some different salts there. And then some other salts that maybe we're not even thinking about. And anyhow. Ooh, ocean blue is gorgeous. So anyways, I have to do a video just on salt. Hopefully I will remember. Note to self. I wish I could be like, without messing all you guys up, just be like, talk to my A device, if you would. Tell her, remind me a video on salts and how they affect your watercolor. I really like that. I really like that color. Are you guys like, chat has gone quiet? Are you enjoying the colors? Steel blue. So this one, I hope that I absolutely am thrilled with this color because this was the one that the pan is very much overfilled. And these reactivated where, I mean, these look dry right now and this looks dry. Like already, if you can see on the monitor, this already looks matte. How are these going to, like, are we going to have a lot of shimmer because it's graphite? Are they going to have some matte, like, qualities? Oh, steel blue is beautiful. Oh my gosh. That is a neat color. I will bring that up closer. So D. Lynn just says, I can't tell. Is it granulating? Yes, it absolutely is. And you know what? Let me, if you guys don't care to see the palette, I'll bring you right in tight on the actual swatch so you can see what it's doing. So give me just 1 second to finish this one and I will do that. Ooh, look at that kind of move too. Oh, I like it. I like that color. So the steel blue makes me think of like a Payne's Gray. It's dark. It's dark. It's moody. It'd make great skies. My voice just went down like 10 octaves. I don't know. Wow. Anyhow, I'm going to switch the palette because I'm right-handed. So I'll move this over here. I'm going to move this here to center. There are their swatches. And let me zoom you in so that you can see them better. Ready? I'm going to move it, and then I am going to move it. There we go. How's that? Can you see those better? And let me just tell it. Oh, I might bump you for a second. I'm just telling it, make sure it focuses right there. Okay. All right. And the brush, which is not linked below, is the Simmons Sapphire number 6 round. Still, it was on my desk. I was like, oh, we're going to keep playing with that. So far, I'm really liking it. So if this is a brush that is economical for you and you might like to give that a try, like that's, I've linked it before and I can link it again. But so far, I'm enjoying it. So far, I am enjoying it for how the color flows off the brush. The ability to control the water in the brush. All right, dark indigo. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Dark indigo. This is another one that looks like it could have a little attitude. All right. And of course, I'm going to bring some more of that color in. Wow. These are gorgeous and smooth. Like, why did I wait so long to touch these colors? I think I'm going to be able to say that about a lot of things in this studio that I have yet to share with you guys. But I hope that you guys enjoy this type of stream where we just come at it and really see what can we do with it. So, all right, look at that. I like that color. That's gorgeous. Okay, aubergine. The rewettability of these is beautiful. I mean, I don't even know, for those of you that have them, do you pre-spritz them? It's 84 here today. Also, Joseph, heat index of the sun, I'm sure, but no, actually it's not that bad today. Probably similar to what you have. Oh my god, this is like the aubergine, so it's like makes me think of like eggplant color, right? Aubergine. I've never tried eggplant. Now that I said that, we're always talking about food. Ooh, look at that. That is like, I like it a lot. Yes, a lot. Let's bring the water in. And of course, I'm using my paint puck, my paint water with my paint puck in it. You know, the paint water cup that I got like a drop there. It's fine. With the oh, look at that color! I just looked up and caught it on the monitor. What do you guys think of that one? Oh, I love it. Yeah, I agree. Humidity, no. Meadow, yeah. So, Stephen, great point. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I have the pencils. I wish there was a yellow, but the meadow is close. I would imagine if I put that meadow on my palette, thinned that down, I bet it would look very yellow. Lots of yellow qualities. And then again, too, like, well, russet, not so much maybe, but isn't it? Aubergine, gorgeous. That right there, like looking at that color, you know what? Immediately, like seeing this dark indigo, because you guys know how much I love Daniel Smith and their colors. Dark indigo makes me think of lunar blue. Aubergine makes me think of moonglow. I'm not getting a separation of colors there, but that's what it makes me think of, you know, when you see the color on the page. All right, juniper. What I can't wait to see is how they're going to react. So, you know how I finished those cards, and they were very well received. So the cards I was working on last week, did I share pictures with you guys? I don't think I shared pictures. I'll have to do that. I filmed me finishing them. Um, I'll have to. Uh, See, juniper. I thought, oh, I'm thinking juniper, and I'm thinking like a juniper is like an evergreen. I wasn't expecting that color. When I mean, obviously, if I look up at the swatch, I should have, but I wasn't paying attention to that. I was just having fun. All right. All right. Oh, does that happen to you too, D? Oh my gosh, Dylan. Yes. So anytime, like my ears will go, like I'll make that, and like pop your ears, you know, like if you were like on an airplane or something, and changes in pressure. Oh, horrible, horrible. Absolutely, it affects my ears as well. Look at that. All right, next up is port. Port, like port, like wine. Yeah, me too. It's funny because so we live like in a valley. So I live in the Highlands of Maine. Yes, that is what they call it. It's not just in Scotland, folks. So I live in the Maine Highlands, and I actually live in a valley. Like when I left today and went to see my doctor, I have to go up the hill, levels out in the mountains. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. I took a photo on my way back. I have no idea how it came out. I wasn't paying attention. I just wanted to see the horizon line because I really want to paint it. So coming home, you come up over the hill as you're getting ready to come back down into the valley where we are, and you come up over the hill and you see the mountains on the other side of us, and they're gorgeous. One of them, George Pencil Art. It is so funny. I can because I know where you live. I know where you live. Not exactly. Not a stalker. Not exactly. um, when we referred, excuse me, can't talk. When we first returned home to New England, we were in Virginia before that. The military took us there, and coming home brought us back to New England. But when we first came back, it was like you'd see that mountain, and it looks like the outline of the state of Virginia. So it's like every time I drive over that mountain, I just think of Virginia. Like every time we come over that hill, it looks exactly like Virginia's outline, which I'll have to get a picture. I'll have to share that. And we used to call it Mount Virginia before we knew what it was called. That is not its name. Although it does look like the outline of the state. And I'll have to take and post a picture of that. But yeah. But it's beautiful. So I grabbed a picture because I was like, I want to paint the mountains because you want to talk about atmospheric perspective. And I think this would be a great medium. As I'm looking at these colors, this would probably be a great choice to paint that in because the blues are like, wow. And that was a lot of water. Let me just get some of that out of my brush. I don't want to keep moving that around. Yeah, that was a lot of water. That one's going to take a little extra time to dry. Put a little more in there. So the graphite gray looks like you would expect. Oh yeah, you weren't here in the beginning, Jacqueline. I just went because that's the reason I'm coughing today. My sinuses and allergies are going crazy. In fact, it started giving me a little bit of a sore throat, which of course, panic mode with everything that's going on in the world today. But I did that test and that was all. It's not that. It is in fact just, excuse me, allergies. So I got new meds, and they're delayed. Apparently, I won't get them till tomorrow, but I will have them. So, all right, I'm gonna let that sit for a minute. But let's talk about, as far as transparency. So, getting that closer for you guys. You see the line, nice and transparent. Right here, Meadow actually looks like it might be a little more opaque in a nice heavy mass tone. The green gray, which again, you see what I mean? Like, I don't see a lot of green in there, but it's definitely a different tone versus like the graphite gray over here. So there's definitely a different tone there. But that has a little bit more opacity to it. The slate green, I think these in there, with the exception like Autumn Brown, it didn't. But that's, I'm seeing at its mass tone more opacity, but even here, like some of them, I'm still getting nice translucency. So, and you see the granulation. Like a lot of these definitely look granulating. So there's your color palette. Now, I'm going to let those dry because, again, I want to come back and I'm going to use this once it's dry to test. If I go over, excuse me. Sorry. If I go over some of this color with just a regular masking, like a pickup for your masking fluid, is it going to disturb the color? Because if it does, then I can't use these with masking fluid, right? I can't use masking fluid to block them off. So that wouldn't work. But there are other things that we maybe could use, and I have that to test, although I didn't link that either, but it's fine. Excuse me. I also wanted to see, can we lift? So I have my Derwent. I'm going with Derwent today. My Derwent mechanical is battery operated. Little compartment there, holds batteries. And can I lift them? Can I lift with a battery? Yes, exactly. Yes, Tara. Absolutely. That was funny. I was reading your mind, Tara. Excuse me. So we are going to do that. So I got my mechanical, and then you know what else I like to erase watercolor with? I grab, hold on, because it's in my watercolor go bag is like sitting right here again. And I have my eraser shields. I did link these in the description. Eraser shields. And I keep this in my go bag, just an old script bottle. But in here, I have like some swabs, a piece of magic eraser, linked in the description. It works wonderfully on regular watercolor. This is cotton paper. It's the B watercolor paper, 100% cotton. We're going to see. Is it going to lift it? So I want to try that. So that's going to happen on this page because I think I have plenty of room to test it with the pickup, to test if I can lift it out, and to try to erase. I also have my kneaded eraser. So are these, think of a Christmas list. Excuse me. Can I lift them? That's one of the things I thought we all might like to know. I have a piece of wax resist. I didn't link this below. And the reason I didn't link these below is because, guys, I need to look for different ones because I do not recommend these. I ordered these, and sorry for reaching across. You see what I got? I didn't break it, and I didn't bend it. And I was like, well, you know, I will use it, but they should look like, if I reach to the other side, boom, they should look like that. Almost like a colorless crayon, right? So wax resist, wonderful question. And let's find out. Let's just do it right now. That's the wrong side right there. Boom. Okay. I'm just going to set my stuff from my go bag. And I keep, like I said, I keep this, my watercolor go bag is actually beside me. So we're going to come back to this. I'm going to set this aside. Let me bring you back out to the desk. No? Great. It does. It's YouTube. Hopefully this is not going to be an issue. YouTube's giving me that notification again. And I know it's not my internet because I can push up to 100 megabits a second up, not just down, but up. I have fiber, and specifically for this purpose, to be able to stream and you guys to maintain that quality. Okay. Excuse me. All right. If you can hear me, mine is back from buffering. Okay, wonderful. Hopefully it is, and all is fine. I'm grabbing another piece of the B. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to do it. Let's go, if you recall from last week, and I'm going to be needing another card soon. So, yeah, I'm blurry. I am blurry or the desk is blurry because, oh, I'm seeing what you guys are seeing. Hold on. Yeah, see, even on my side, like, it's blank. It's black. I'm going to pause for a moment. Hopefully this is going to come back up. Because there's no way it's not receiving enough from me, which means it's YouTube. All right, guys, I'll tell you what I'm doing, and I'm going to watch for you guys to tell me when it's clear, and I'm not going to do much that you, like, I'm not going to do things that, like, you're going to miss out on something, okay? I do have another piece of B watercolor paper. Excuse me. 1 second. Okay. Both. All right. Hold on. I'm just going to double check. Output. Nope, that's correct. It's in high quality stream. Sorry. That's all good. Yeah, everything here is showing that it's fine, with the exception of YouTube. It says it's good. Now it says it's good, so hopefully that means it's coming back. I don't know why it's doing that because I am pushing what they should need. The overhead did switch the focus when you move stuff away. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to, hopefully other people that were having an issue will let me know real quick. I'm going to turn this, my little pad here, set it like that. And well, hopefully it's coming back because it says good connection. So YouTube's bringing me back. This is my Holbein soft tip. It is linked below. Love this stuff. And actually, I don't know why I grabbed more. I actually have it sitting here on my desk already. Pieces to use. I'm like not seeing this line. Like a shadow. I was trying to get it straight. There we go. All right. Hopefully, see, it's doing it now. It says it again. Okay, YouTube. Just thank you for your patience, guys. Stay with me. double check this. I wonder if I can change this while going. I'm going to switch it to normal, which means your comments may come to me a little slower for what I'm sending them, but maybe it'll help boost what they're getting. All right. Nope, that is Jacqueline. Great question. Great question. That is just the Derwent Graphitint Paint Pan set. It is linked below. So that is linked in the description. And if you guys weren't before, hopefully you're coming back now. This is, I don't believe, now, I'll double check. And the best way to know if there are more is Blick. I have Blick linked below. Maybe change on your computer. Maybe you can drop down for those of you watching on computer, or you can check, because I know we just had to do this in Lindsay's stream yesterday. She was having, there was an issue too, and some had to refresh and some had to like drop the quality, like for maybe like from 1080p to 720 or something. And then they were seeing hers fine. And that was when she was live streaming, because I was on there with her. Excuse me. And yeah, I don't know why, but that seems that Dylan says she has fiber too. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love fiber. I love it. All right. I'm going to turn this just so that I can keep this up. So this is one of the Strathmore watercolor cards that we used last week. I'm going to be needing another card soon. So why not just throw it and just make some abstract background for the card. Wax resist. Hopefully you can see me now. It says I have excellent connection on YouTube side, so I'm going with it. So with a wax resist, if I put that down, let's try it this way. I gotta turn it this way to right for just a moment, and hopefully I'm going to be able to see what I'm doing. I'm gonna duck down for a second so I can see, because I'm kind of like looking at an angle because it's clear. So when you're doing that, I like to see where you've put it. Hey, you know what I did? Hopefully I crossed my T in the right spot. Not sure. So, all right, hold on. I knew that was going to be a big one. Okay. So with wax resist, you basically mark, and I don't know, it's probably not going to show up. Oh, there we go. I got a little bit of light. You see it? You see the light? You see it reflecting? So wax resist, you put it on the paper. This is great for things like highlights in the ocean. It's not square. I know, it's not. This is a rectangle, and it's weirdly on this rectangle, and things are, it's just not right. Sorry. All right, I'm going to try. Oh, I didn't fill the, okay, I had them in the wrong order. I thought I was filling the flat one. I didn't. I filled the larger, same kind. So let's try the one that came with the set first. First up, do they do wet and wet? What do they do? Let's find out. So, no, that's going to be forever. I have my handy dandy silver black velvet. And this is just, we're going to throw all kinds of stuff down here, and we're going to see what happens. I'm just going to wet an area, not necessarily the whole thing, because oh, why not? Why not? Apparently. Oh, you know what? No, I didn't reuse that one. But I bet you there was a little bit of stuff we were using last week on that tape. Didn't think about that, but it's fine. I'm not angry about it. It's fine. Now, you see the water beating up on that tape? This Holbein soft tape is amazing. And I did the video so that when I did record when I took that off so you guys could see how clean and crisp those edges from last week's cards were after using the soft tape. And this is a cellulose card. This is not taped to, the only thing that's holding it is these. So this is probably going to bend and do all kinds of fun stuff for me because I didn't pay attention. I was trying to hurry up. All right. So there's water on the card. It is wet. I think you can see how wet that is. Lots of water. This tape is the first tape that I have found. It doesn't bleed. Like, it doesn't, you know, sometimes you get that little bit under the edge. Excuse me. This tape doesn't seem to do that. And I will give credit where credit is due because I was first introduced to this tape. I am just going to try to, there we go. I was first introduced to this tape by Sarah Cray, who, those of you who don't know, Sarah Cray is the artist behind the watercolor work, the watercolor lessons and stuff from Let's Make Art. And I used to get their watercolor subscription boxes. Wow. I love some of the stuff she is doing now. If you haven't seen her on Instagram, yeah, check her out. She's doing some pretty cool watercolor stuff. So if you've never heard of her, check her out. And that's who introduced me to Holbein soft tape. And I love it. Love it. I did link that below. All right. What on what? I think I want some indigo. Yeah, let's take some indigo. How does it do wet and wet? Ready? Well, that doesn't move too much, does it? Not too much. So great to know. That's not moving much. I mean, unless this paper has just already, I don't think so. Let me just give a really, okay, no doubt that's still wet right there. So no, that does not move. But let's try some wetting agent. And let's see if I put a little bit of the golden wetting agent, because the purpose of this is going to reduce surface tension of the water. Will it then move? Let's see. I'm going to take, oops, if I can do this correctly. I believe it, yeah, twist up. I did not link this in the description, but I can. What am I going to set it in? I have my, remember the portable palette for like wash or something? I'm just going to put a few drops in here just so that I can pick that up. Hold on. Is it? Oh, I haven't even opened this one yet. I don't know if I have one open, but it doesn't matter. We're opening this one now. The other thing I want to know, if you, wow, Hey, that was stubborn. I swear I have flow improver too, like for my airbrush. What is going on? Something's going on. I don't know. It's probably going to do it to you guys again. Because I just got that error. All right. Ooh, so that's very, you see, like, it's thick. You see how slowly that moves around? So it is thick. I was thinking like flow extender for like your, or flow improver rather, excuse me, for like your airbrush. Like how would that work? So let's take, I'm going to have my brush wet. I'm going to grab some of this. Let's just put it in over here. Right. There's some more water. We were working with dark indigo. Well, there you go. Nada. Huh. And that's okay, right? That's okay. But it's good to know. Look at those bubbles. And the bubble, it just made those bubbles. And I'm like, so you want to talk about like reducing the surface tension of the water, right? Because this is just the bubbles. I'm not even popping the bubbles. They're just moving around. And you know what I think? I'm going to leave them. I'm going to let them just kind of, they're going to do their thing. I'm going to put some more of this color over there. Just really get that, darken it up right in that spot. Oh, they popped. I was going to leave them. I was going to leave the bubbles and just like, I mean, there's other bubbles. But just see, what do the bubbles do? So I'm going to kind of leave that area alone because there's some bubbles from that. I'm just going to let it go. Okay, so now if you have these brushes, you can either rinse them off in your paint water, or it does have the sponge. And basically, let me just, we're going to use some of this up. There we go. I would squeeze the water and just kind of wipe that clean on that sponge. And that's how you clean those. So for those of you who haven't used the water brushes before, that's what your sponge is for. Oh, my ears are, I'm like, it's not getting dark outside. I don't know if it's the weather's changing. So I'm going to call that one a fail for now. I'm going to call it a fail. Ooh, what are you working on? What you working on, George? All right. That's kind of neat. I'm going to set that brush down. I can like see using the brush. This is tiny. Like, so will the bubbles leave a track of their outline when it dries? I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm like, I'm just going to leave it. We're just going to kind of leave it be and see what it does. So if I wanted to like sketch, almost like urban sketching, where I was going to sketch with these and just kind of dip in and, you know, do whatever I'm drawing. Like, you see, I could do that very easily. I said abstract, guys. I have no idea what this is going to end up looking like when we're finished, and it may not end up being a card, or it may be like, wow, I love it. Who knows? Okay. So that, it would be a cool effect. Yes. Yes, I agree. So these bubbles are like, let's see what they do. Granulation medium. Oh, my ears. We already saw that they, like, on the here, like, they granulated. Let's see if we can get some more. See if we can get some more. I have water brushes of all different sizes, Jacqueline, and like I haven't used I haven't used them a ton. So, oh, look at, for those of you who like things that post, the Derwent water brush set that I showed you in the beginning. Those brushes, if I take that top off, they will post. There's actually the spot on the end, you see there, they will post. So you won't lose it. Same with the one that came in the set, will also, yes, it will also post. So there we go. Or pop that on. Now look, this is one thing that I don't like. You ready? If you wanted to leave it together, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit back in there, which is why they give you the plunger. So if you still have water in the in this part of it, you can unscrew that, put the plunger back in, put both pieces, and continue on your way. So, but just so you know, that doesn't fit in there. If Derwent made it just a tiny bit bigger, gave us maybe, you know, move the sponge or something, or gave us a bigger sponge but opened this all up, then that might be nice, or it could fit without having to close it. Okay, so I have here the Winsor Newton granulation medium. I didn't link this below. I'm going to try to remember things that I didn't link to link after the fact. So here, let me just rinse my brush out. I'm going to get this clean. And I'm going to put just a couple drops. Let me grab another magical pipette. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I'm wondering if we did, I'm putting a little bit of granulation medium right here on my palette. I'm just going to put a few drops because I don't think I'm going to use that much. We just want to test it and see. I almost put that right in I almost put the extra in my water. I'm going to take my brush. I'm going to go into the granulation medium. And I am going to put some in this area. So we're going to put some down here. And I think we're going to go with that steel blue is really... Well, no, steel blue does have got a good granulation already. I think I'm going to get the aubergine because it might look like it on your end, but there's really not a ton of granulation showing there. Like the dark indigo has more, steel blue has a lot. I'm gonna go with the aubergine and see if we can't boost it up. So I've put granulation medium here on my paper. I'm going to come right back into the granulation medium. This is what I'm using to wet my brush. I'm gonna come back to that aubergine I said. Grab that. And we are just going to drop that in there. And that moved in the granulation medium. That really, it moved around a lot more than like up here with the wetting agent. So we have some, and I'm going to bring this over this way because this didn't have it, just whatever was on my brush. So let's just kind of move that. And oh, right there, look, I was saying about dry brush technique. Look at that texture that you can get. Like, I like it. I could see that working on like some tree trunks for sure. All right, granulation medium into the color. Dropping that in here. And I've just gone right back to it, so now there's like color all in that. So I won't be using that for another, you know, on another color, but we will definitely compare this corner with our swatch. All right. How about blending? How well are they going to blend? So let us take, I'll take some meadow. I'm going to do it on the palette. Let me bring this back over just a little bit so you guys can see. We're going to go Meadow. There we go. I'm thinking maybe some of that autumn brown. Okay. So we could certainly mix some of those in together. And I don't know that this is going to look very good together for the colors, but you know, whatever. Just so they will mix. I mean, that you can certainly, just like anything else, mix your colors together. I know what I want to see. I got to get this nice and wet again. Reactivation, because that was like, see, I can reactivate it, but it leaves like a stain. So with water, yeah, I can come back in. Right, let's get some water and remove that. Don't want to scrub too hard. This is a cellulose paper, right? And so far, do you see it starting to show up? The wax resist is starting to show. Let's put some juniper. Juniper, I think, would be go well with these. And juniper will be dark enough that when I place this in here, I'm going to make an area large enough so that I can show you the difference. One, does it react with salt or sugar? And this will be large enough that I will be able to, I'm not going too far over there. There's where our little circles were. All right. I know with salt, I want a really nice wet wash. So let's find out. Of course, we have Tiki Man. Just get a little bit of salt on there. And this, in case you're wondering, is like I just saw that looked pink. I believe this is like a Himalayan sea salt, or yeah, like a Himalayan salt. You know, like the pink salt. But some of this looks white, so I'm believing this is like the Himalayan and sea salt that's in there. All right, so I have some salt there. Oh, thank you, Cat's Art Picks. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm just gonna drop that over there. Another thing you can do too, if you don't have like the granulation medium, try putting some salt in your water and painting with that and see what kind of effects you get. You may get more granulation when you do that. So now, because this is dried a little bit, I just want to make sure that this part still is nice and wet, because I want it to go in when it's wet. And I'm going to show you sugar. We will see if that salt over there reacts. Look at that. Do you see it now? So the wax resist definitely seems to be, you can use wax resist. How much will it preserve the white when it's done? I don't know, but we'll definitely find that out. Okay, so regular, this is regular sugar, like you'd put in your coffee, if you put sugar in your coffee. Okay, so just a few granules of the sugar, and I'm going to drop those in. And we'll see if it does anything. I'll have to show you sugar on watercolor next time I'm working in watercolor. I'm going to leave this right on my desk now so that I have it. It's a very different look from salt. Excuse me. Very different look from salt when you use it. So we're going to leave those two there and see what they do. So we've got the salt going. We've got the sugar going. Alcohol. We wanted to see, what does alcohol do? I'm going to use the Derwent's brush because I keep picking it up. So clearly I want to use it. Oh, would help if I got it wet first. It's brand new and it's very, there we go. Brand new, it was very stiff. All cleaned out. All right, and I like put that in there and it really tore up that. I'm still in the juniper. So I'm just gonna squeeze and drop of water in there so that, just kind of trying to repair what I did. You guys can't see it, it's off screen, but anyways, just trying to repair what I did. So look at when it's dry, like the paper's dry, that's definitely a different look. And again, you see the bubbles I'm picking up because that's under there. So let's leave those. Let's leave those bubbles. Boom. I know I said I was going to do some. I was going to do some alcohol, so I'm just going to move this. I want to leave the bubbles so we can find out more about the bubbles. We'll bring it over here. I'll protect the salt area. And let's try. Oh, I don't have to spritz it. So I do have my spray. You guys have seen me use this before. This is isopropyl alcohol. And I keep it in this little spritzer because it looks different from all my other ones. So I know this is alcohol. But I also have it in a brush. We'll use the brush because I can do a drop to see how it reacts with it. What else? Drop in the comments. What else do you want to see me try with these as far as what might make them move? I have a couple other things in store for you. All right, I'm just making sure that I'm just getting the flow, like getting this moving through the tip of this brush. So the other thing I wanted to test with the reason I used the Derwent line markers. Okay, there, that's going. The other reason I used the Derwent line markers on my swatches, I wanted to make sure they weren't going to move. I haven't used them with watercolor yet, and I wanted to make sure that when I put them down, they were going to be permanent. They say that they are permanent. They are super fine, free-flowing, permanent liners. And I just want to make sure. Could I line out some art with them? And then that's looking neat. All right, so here we go. Ready? Alcohol. And this is drying super fast, so I've probably talked too long, but we'll see. I'm just letting it get a drop. Oh, no, I did it. Look at that. Interesting. Interesting. And having it in the brush, I can really control like where I touch. I want to touch, put some more. Interesting. I think I would get a really neat effect if I spritzed it. So imagine like, and it's lightening the color. We'll see how it dries. We'll see how it looks when it dries. I'm thinking like galaxy. I mean, like, think about Joseph's, what he's been working on. Like if you wanted to get the stars, just kind of push some stuff out of the way, like for those distant stars, and then maybe come back and like splatter some white on top. Maybe you get a nice galaxy look that way. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we can try some here. Make it kind of go with a Galaxy adjacent. I don't know. I don't know what this is going to be yet, other than let's play and find out. So the other thing that I have on my desk, and oh, you're welcome. You are welcome. I would definitely say have fun with some these and some alcohol, misting, dropping, getting very precise. Like, sorry, maybe I want just making sure that this is nice and wet because I had wiped it off. Okay, maybe I was doing something where I wanted highlight to show up like a line. Can I take an out? Look at, you see there? Could you see a use for that if you were coming back and just wanted to maybe put some little highlights in? Possibly. That could possibly work for that. So that is just alcohol, and for me, I just put it in one of the, water brushes, and it works fine in that. And it cleans off really well. I mean, the tip of this one is stained, but it's clean. Like, it's clean now. Okay. I think that could be really useful for highlights. Wow. There's another thing that is on my desk that I was like, I wonder, because that's, look, can you guys see the granulation coming in this here? Thank you. Thanks, Dylan. Enjoy the rest of your day. If we, I don't know that port's going to be the best one. I'm going to try, no, I'm going to go with a darker color. We'll do the steel blue. Let's do the steel blue. So if I take this steel blue, put some down over here. I just like flicked my color into my other one. All right, so some steel blue. Come in here with it. Look at that. And I'm going over that orange too because I want to see how translucent are they. Like, does that the mixture of the meadow and the autumn brown, does it keep coming through if you layer these up? Like, how do they layer up? So that's going to give us some information there as well. But here on the steel blue, I had made a mixture. Actually, I had Lou make me a mixture because I have to be very careful with it. And especially today of all days, I'm already having breathing problems. Let's just work with that. Sounds wonderful. I have got in this bottle, and you see it's in a brown bottle. I keep it different because this is, brown bottle tells me danger, right? It's like, I need to be careful with this. This is 10%. 10% bleach solution. It's just bleach in distilled water. And I know that when you use, brush out, this has some really neat effects with it. How does it work with this? And I guess once we see what it does, we'll decide, is it something that you could find a use for in your art? So I'm just going to just do a little drop here. Look at that. Ooh. All right, I'm going to go one more. Where it's really dark right here, I'm just going to touching it and letting it go. See how it pushed that color? Like, it pushed that color right out. I don't know. We'll see. I'm closing that up now. And that is all I'm going to do because I can smell it. And bleach will, give me problems breathing. On my side, like I'm seeing you guys' chat coming in, but where I had it up on YouTube, I'm just saying a black screen on my phone. Okay. So it definitely, it pushed the color out. And look, I'm seeing what's below it. I don't know. Could you find a use for that? So just, there's your alcohol. That's kind of dry. Here's your bubbles. Look at the bubbles now. Do you see? It's not completely dry yet, but it like pushed, it made it darker. Everything else was darker. And then of course where the center of the bubbles were, it pushed that out. So, but look at for the granulation medium. Look at the granulation that's in here. And that was aubergine. So let's compare. Like, let me do it this way so you guys can kind of see side by side. Aubergine, right from the pan. Aubergine with granulation medium. It definitely boosts the effects that you get. So that might be something that you really would be interested in. If you like the granulation, try some granulation medium with your graphitint. So yeah, you see there's the other, where there were bubbles there, and then this one here. There's even some up in here. So I'm gonna let those continue. And you see we're starting to get something from the sugar, and salt is still kind of sitting there. So we'll see. So that was sugar, that was salt. When this gets really dry, it is not yet, don't touch it. There's another thing that I want to try, and this might offer us a chance to do that too. We'll see if I need to. I will dry it, make it dry faster. I'm just going to finish putting some color on here. I want to know, what if I spritz it? What if I give it a spritz? But I don't want to don't want to mess this up. So I think I'm going to have to wait and do that on a different, just to do a different scrap piece of paper. Just because I want to know if I do that and then I spritz, what happens? Because just water. We haven't done just water. Although I can do just a drop of water. So we'll do it that way. Because I think you'll be able to figure out, based on that, if you dropped it, sprayed it, what effects you would get. Okay. That's no water in that one. All right. Trying to think what other color. So look, as we layer, like that is coming through. As that's drying, we're getting some nice layering effects going on there. I like that. And I want to just kind of tie those sides together. And I'm thinking maybe I have my color palette here. I don't know, ocean blue. I want to come in through here and bring another color and kind of tie these spaces together. Maybe I'll pick up this again, the dark indigo, and bring it back over here. That's what I'm going to do. Dark indigo. So that'd be this one. They re-wet beautifully. Like, all the time, like, that it's been, like, sitting here, they re-wet really well. Really well. My hair, I'm like, I am a hot mess. I keep looking up. I was like, don't drive the Jeep with the windows open before stream. Although, even when it's hot out, like, I have AC in my Jeep. I never use it. I'm not going to come up here because that's where the alcohol was. Going to bring in some more of that blue down here. Darken it up. Kind of blend them together. It's a hot mess. And so you see here, like the more I've gone, like where I've gone over this, and maybe I just didn't mark it hard enough, but that is not really showing up as much. Will it if I go back over it? where I know that that wax resist is at and lift that color off afterwards, like after it dries maybe. I don't know. Has anybody tried it with the wax resist or anything before? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of, I'm thinking on the lines of like watercolor here. What if I come in just with a, I just went to my clean water with that. See, I have these edges just with the water. Like, see the hard edge here? Can I just come in and soften a little? Or am I going to now, because I just introduced all this water on my brush, tapping that off onto paper, going to push a bloom? Will this bloom like watercolor would bloom? Or can I come in with a damp brush and just sort of blend that hard edge out? Okay, Tara says she hasn't tried hers with wax resist. So just thinking, like, let's just soften that up a little bit. I don't know. I can see that if I were to try to play with this too much, I would make mud, or I would start lifting it back out. They reactivate even on the paper very easily. Yeah. Every time I come out of the water, I'm like tapping on a napkin so that my brush isn't too damp, as I'm going to try to come in and just kind of like, see, as I do that, it's like lifting. And so I'm not getting this. I love how those layer on top of each other though. So I'm just going to kind of pull from that color into here, see if I can't soften it up that way. But it definitely, they are definitely very different from watercolor. But that's not a bad thing. These, I like them. I can't wait to do some more stuff with these. Like, this is, I'm excited about that. And then here, just because I was just working in that same color, I'm just going to try to, no, I'm trying to avoid our bubble spot over there, right here, letting it be. I've got a little bit of a trail where it like went off. So if that's what you were talking about, Tara, yeah, I've got there's a little trail there. I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to touch those little bubbles either. Okay, what I want to know, let's look at, that's not dry. I'm going to set this aside for a second and let it kind of sit. Just let it sit and do its thing. Oh, that's very good information. So Tara says they slightly transfer too after they dry. Just if you set something on top of that card, right, you don't want to get anything on it. Okay, so then I would say, like, if you did it, maybe if you were working in a sketchbook with this, maybe a piece of glassine in between the pages so it doesn't transfer. All of a sudden I feel like I am going to have a sneeze of all sneezes. Well, only because it seemed to help the last time. Like an Altoid. I did not check, and because this is Midnight Black, Graphite Gray, let's do it down here. So this is, and let's just see how well, like, can we blend this out well? So this is going to be our pencil. Here's the Graphitint pencil. If I drew with this, let's see if we can blend that out. And then let's see when we shade in an area, how well, one, can we blend this in and fill the tooth of this paper? And then two, how well will it move? How well can we move it around? All right, so there's our second layer. I'm gonna go layer 3. And I'll just do one more. So I have plenty on the paper, but yet you can still see there's still tooth of the paper that's not filled. So if you want to compare these, the pans to the pencils, because maybe you have the pencils and you don't have the pans. Like for the longest time, I just had the, I'm going to use their brush. I'm going to use their brush for this. I had the Inktense pencils, but I didn't have the Inktense, the sticks, which I do now, the blocks I do now. I have not used them yet, but I do have them. They are on our list. Okay, so first off, just using my water brush. Can we come back in? So maybe if, all right, and how does it fill in the tooth of the paper? Wow. Okay. Those of you that have, wow. What do you guys think of that? Like, that fills in the tooth paper beautifully. That tells me there's a drop of water. Now let's see. Just putting this is just whatever was on my brush. Okay, so I'm going to let that pull. I'm going to pull that out and we'll get it at its lightest. Just whatever was left on the brush. But then let's see what we can pull out. Can we pull this out and kind of get a gradient coming off? And it still stays smooth. Or is it one of these where wherever I put it, I can smooth it out, but don't try to move it around. You know what I mean? Okay. See, it doesn't, I don't know. I'm just going to leave that be. Cleaning out my brush. I throw the top off of my brush. I'm going to clean out my brush. I'm going to come back here to the word pencil. And now I want to see, because if I were to go over that, you know, it's going to be easily nice and darkened up. Fills the tooth of the paper in really well. But does it blend out? So you're never, yeah, that's what I thought. And this is what I thought it would do. So when I put that line down there and I add water, I am never going to be able to fully blend that pencil mark in and make it all be smooth. That's not going to work. But that's okay as long as you know that that's what's going to happen. But if you thought, well, I could just get the pencils and, oh, hi, Ambi, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. Excuse me. We can welcome Ambi. So if you're thinking, well, I'll just get the Graphitint pencils because I can take pencils easily out in the field and do my sketches in my sketchbook or whatever. Yeah, you can. And then, you know, and then I'll come home and I'll turn that into a wash and wet them, and you can do that. But just know that this is, you know, you have the potential for your pencil marks will stay. If you have a lot of color put down, you can get it to fill the tooth nicely, maybe even some blending off, but bring that closer for you guys to see. So it's very different than if I go in with the pans and put my color where I want it, and I see a use for both. I absolutely see a use for both. Like if I was doing a tree, I drew the outline of my tree, and maybe I like focused on like the shadow of the bark, you know what I mean? Like the shadows within the bark rather. Then I come back and I do a nice wash over the tree. Now all those marks where the shadows are, they're still going to be there, but I use the color, now it's going to be lighter, to kind of make the rest of my tree, if that makes sense. So I'm sure that you guys get what I'm saying. Okay. So we have looked at how it will work with if you can you use salt with graphitint, the paint pans, and is it going to give you some results? Sugar, granulation medium, a wetting agent. We've looked at alcohol. We've checked. We're going to check. Let's check our movability. So now I have something that has masking fluid on it. Oh, when we tried wax resist. So aside from wax resist, you could mask areas when you're working on something. Like if I was doing a seascape and I wanted to have the what do you want to say? Like the sea foam. I wanted to preserve those highlights. I could do that with a wax resist, I think, and get something there. But just remember, other things it's gonna resist. It is a wax resist. So if you wanted to go something on top of that, you're not gonna be able to do that. But I'm gonna go with graphite gray right here. If I were to, because I'm gonna do this just as if there were masking fluid here, and I was trying to rub off that masking fluid. So just as strong as I would do that with the mask to remove masking, that's how much pressure I'm going to apply here. And just coming over, and you can see I do move some. I definitely do move some. So if I was trying to take masking off an area, I could end up pulling the color into that masked area. So with a pickup, that might not be our best bet. I can certainly try it. I don't want to mess up the project I'm working on in my sketchbook. But yeah, let's look at the difference between these two. So we have the PBO drawing gum. You see how large that one is. And this one is my 2mm, and this is like a 4. And there's your difference. Okay, these are both linked below. Yay, you made it! Hello, Teresa Mazzotti. Welcome. Thanks for joining the stream. So of the two, I can tell you this. Because I have used both. I haven't removed this one. This is what's in my sketchbook right now because I really wanted to try it. So I haven't removed that yet. Which is why I was like, this would be perfect if it worked. And then I could do that today and I would know. Yeah, well, I'm not shaking it up as much as I would with the Molotov. You just make sure that it's all turns light blue. So you're going to shake that. If you can hear it, there's a ball bearing in there, and you're just going to shake that until it all turns light blue. Same thing with the PBO. Just give it some shakes. So the PBO is a bit wider, right? I can come over this, and you see that line, and you can depress, like you press down just like you would for like an acrylic paint marker, something like a Posca, or do you pump up? Anyways, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, the ones that you would depress and go. So that's this one. Then we have the Molotov. Now, before I depress this, I want to show you guys something because we were talking about this. I was talking with my patrons last Friday. We have our live chat every Friday. And last Friday, we were talking about masking fluid. And I meant to grab my bottle of it. But I have a bottle that looks just like this, only it's masking fluid. I also have one that is behind me. Well, it's like over there. And it's like the Daniel Smith. Question was, like, could you put it in like a bottle with a really fine tip? I think you could. For like applying it, I think you could. But do you see the nib on here? So you see the nib, because I haven't got this, I have not primed this yet. So this has no masking in it right now. Like you see, I can take the nib right out. So there's the nib. Has a ball bearing. I didn't link these in the description, but if anybody's interested, I absolutely will. Do you see this? This is an acrylic. It is a fillable acrylic paint pen. You fill it yourself. It has, and this is where I'm excited about this. Do you see the point? Like how fine, like that comes to a nice point on that nib. If I put masking in here, because, you know, the ball bearing shakes around inside here. Sorry, I did not mean to shake the table. So the ball bearing shakes around inside there. I go, and it's opposite. You turn right to take this one off. I would remove here, and I would fill this. Well, if I took, say, my Winsor Newton, the liquid, like the masking, how is that any different than what's in here? In fact, Molotov, right? Yeah, Molotov, whatever. They sell the refills. So if I really like this masking fluid and it really worked and I wanted like a fine point nib, or maybe, guys, maybe you have got a big old bottle of masking and you're like, I'm tired of messing with a brush. You could put that masking, right? This is my thought process, and I am going to try this. I'm telling you my idea. I could take that, put it in here. I'm going to prime it. Like, it's going to, if I, you know, I mean, like, that's what I'm wondering. Like, how is that? Yeah, I prime it the same way. I press down. So I would press down to prime. That's the exact same as what I'm about to show you with this. So something like that, if you have a big thing of masking, you could probably create your own marker. These are very affordable. I will link them in the description after the fact. So see, I'm priming, and here comes the masking fluid. These nibs are very rounded, and there have been times that I have wished I want a really nice fine detail. Say I wanted to line a whisker and leave that part very white. If I had a nice fine point like that, and they do sell the pens with different point sizes, and you see here, like, I can get this one kind of thin. Now, the PBO was lighter in color. The Molotov is darker, the darker blue. Here, the finer line. I love this one. I haven't tried to remove this one yet to know how it removes, but let me just say, there is a watercolor painting that I did that was a commission. It is a video here on the channel, and it's of a couple walking up a path. It's wooded. There's like the light showing through at the end of the path. I think you can see that in the thumbnail. Anyways, I had the couple masked off. Well, when I masked the couple off, this is what I used. I was working on that commission for a long time. I left. I was so worried. Excuse me. Guys, I left that masking on that paper. Now, mind you, it was cotton paper, but I left it on there for, not that one, this one. I left it on there for like a week. I think it was over a week. It came right off. It did not harm my paper. It did not make a mess. It was so wonderful. And yeah, okay, that one's dry, and that one also dry. So those are both dry. Let's put a wash on those, and so that it has a second, let it dry, because at the very end we'll see how that works. And I want a good color that will show. I don't know, what color do you guys think? The graphite gray. See, I think that will really, because it'll show us. Will it pop into that line? Steel blue, aubergine, one of these. Let's just do the ocean blue, because we haven't done anything else with ocean blue yet today. All right, here we go. So if I want to go over the masking, so it seems to lay down over the masking just fine, and I want a nice rich, like a dark wash here, because a light wash might be easy to remove the masking, and that might work very well. But with a darker wash, will it? One of these weeks, guys, I'm going to remember to shut that off. Sorry about that. There. So with a darker one, will we be able to remove it? we're going to find out right before we go. That should be dry, and we'll try to lift it. So let's look at lifting. Multiple ways. First, let's look at the generals, right? We have the kneaded eraser. Can we lift with a kneaded eraser? I'm going to go right here, ocean blue, where we just were. And I'm going to take my kneaded eraser, and I'm just going to get myself a point to work with here. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Joseph. So, yeah, Joseph just shared. That was the one. So, thank you. Okay. So, can I lift this with a kneaded eraser? Well, I can tell you, if you look at the kneaded eraser, all right, hold on. Let me give you a little bit bigger piece so I can see here. Do you see, right? I'm pressing and lifting. Yes. You can lift. You can lift with the kneaded eraser. So that's certainly, if I wanted to lift out some highlights, I certainly could there too. And with a kneaded eraser, I mean, I can make any shape I want to, right? So good to know. I expected that it would, but now let's look at, this is the Derwent mechanical eraser, battery operated eraser. I'm just going to come down here to, I'll go over here, the green gray. And so with it, you just depress the button on the side here. And I'm going to come in. You'll see that mine, like, it has a point. And because I tend to, when I'm working that, if I'm erasing like a larger area, I try to keep that point refined so that if I need to get into a fine area, I can take this and come through, right? Or I can have it on the side. So there you go. Is it going to lift that off? And I'm just kind of keeping this like kind of at a 45-degree angle. Right? Get those out of my way. And clearly you can do some. You can lift some of it. How much could I go in there? Like, am I going to really come in here and lift this out? I don't think you're lifting all of that out. No. I'm just going to kind of get the eraser crumbs. And take my brush and get the eraser crumbs off the desk. All right. So you can see that's what happens with an eraser. Now let's look at our eraser guards, eraser shields. Okay, I just had it coming out when I showed it to you earlier. Now it doesn't want to come out of the, doesn't want to lift out of the sleeve. There we go. This one has some straight lines. So there's like different ones. And again, these are linked in the description. They are affiliate links. And helping them, using them supports the channel. It doesn't cost you more, but it definitely supports the channel. And if you choose to use them, thank you very much. So they have different shapes on them. I'm just going to take this straight one. Let's go through aubergine. I'm going to set that on there. This is my magic eraser. And do you guys, are you familiar? Everybody familiar with magic erasers? I know I've used them before on the channel with watercolor. So I just dipped that in my water. Let me just show you. When I dip it in my water, I'm just going to dip that in to get that wet, but that's really wet. I don't want to go at my work with that. I want to squeeze that out and wring as much of that out as I can. So now it's damp. Now, a magic eraser, I'm kind of tapping it on my napkin over here. That's what's kind of over here to this side. A magic eraser is going to, they can fall apart. So sometimes you may see it don't mistake the eraser falling apart for your paper crumbling. You know what I mean? Like if you get too aggressive, you can absolutely damage your paper. But so here's my eraser shield. I'm just going to come through with this eraser. I am not pressing hard. I am just wiggling back and forth on that. I'm going to turn it to a different location. You see, I am picking stuff up. So I'm going to turn that to a different location. Pull that through. I'm taking a drier part of the eraser and just now I'm just pressing, like in case there was any like moisture, anything like that. And I don't want to, again, I don't want to degrade. I think that if you did this on your paper, you would want this to be like at the end, not when you were going to paint more, because I think if I painted back over this, and certainly I can show you that. I'll go out beyond. I'm going to come out here beyond where I was just working. And I'm just scrubbing a little spot on the paper as if I were trying to remove the color. And then I'm going to paint back over it and show you what I mean. I think that the color will go into your paper much different and it's going to show up. So you definitely want to make sure if you choose to do something like this and that you can see what the magic eraser does. So what gives us the best removal after the fact? I think right now, hands down, I would say that did, but just see here where it also moved it, like the edges. So there you can see. That's what you're going to get if you use a kneaded eraser. This is what you're going to get. I use the Derwent battery operated eraser. There's a magic eraser and water, or a damp magic eraser. Really lifts that color. And I thought if anything, aubergine would have been a really good staining color. And it did. I mean, there's still some there, but really picked that up. So there's that. What about just regular? Just a regular. I wish I also had my Derwent one sitting here. I would have used that too. But this is just a dust catch right there. A mono, Tombow mono dust catch eraser. I also have a, and I'm just coming in with the corner so that we can just see. Will it? That doesn't seem to be, I mean, it is some. Yes, yes. Okay, it is. I just had to keep kind of going back and forth. And I'm trying, again, to be careful not to degrade the paper too much. So, more eraser crumbs. It's like, where did I put my brush? Blow those off. So you see there. Wow. For those of you, and this is not linked, again, anything that I ended up using that I didn't, I can. So here's the Mono Zero. So because we got this with the water, the Mono Zero is going to be probably closest in size to what I just did. So right here on the aubergine, I'm going to go just below that where I can tell that it's not wet. And I'm just going to come through with that mono and see what can we do. And the mono, just like with my other my battery operated eraser, like if I keep turning this and have it at that kind of 45-degree angle, I can refine the point even on this mono and get that to be even finer. So if you're working in a medium where you know, it would really ease, like maybe charcoal or just plain graphite, having that point refined, that might help you get those really fine lines. So there you go. There's the mono. So if you were wondering if I use these, can I lift? Can I pull that out of there? The answer is yes, to an extent, depending on what you're using. So I hope that that helped. It certainly helped me. It helped me understand it a little better. I'll link I need to put the things that I need to link aside together so that I will link them afterwards. Okay, that's dry, but I'm going to let it dry just a little bit longer. Let's come back here and take a peek. This is drying. Yep, it is dry now. I'm going to brush away. The sugar was here. The salt was there. I'm not going to brush it with my fingers because Tara just said that sometimes this can transfer. So I don't want my finger to mess that up. So just off my desk, and I'm using the brush to gently kind of wisp away anything that was on top. So I'm going to let you be the judge. I'm not seeing, not like when we do watercolor. So can salt make a big deal in this color? Not so much. And that was the juniper. Not so much. And there was sugar. And again, a little bit. I mean, you see a little bit. Don't mind my sparkly brush. You see a little bit where some of the sugar sat, but it's not really. I mean, the salt, kind of where I put the salt, I'm almost seeing like it pushed like an overall area of bloom. But then with the wetting agent, we were looking at the bubbles that we ended up making. And yeah, it does leave a trail. So if that's something that you're interested in, and I would say, because Joseph made the comment, well, if we could control that. But I'm thinking, here's my thought process. Ready? If I put stuff and I made the bubble, and then I'm like, oh, I want that bubble to go that way. Well, if I just tip it, that wetting agent, again, I'll link it afterwards. It's the golden wetting agent because it reduces the surface tension on your water. And so if you missed that, just jump back. You'll see how we did that. I could tip it and get that bubble to kind of go where I want it to. You know what I mean? Once it settles, like it's still, as it was drying, if I had that on a slight angle and it was just sitting on my desk or my maybe table easel that was slightly tipped, I could probably control where that went. So there's something to think about. Just because Joseph said, hey, if we could control that, maybe that would be, you know. All right. So alcohol, what did alcohol do? So there's the effects you got with the alcohol. Now look, when we first dropped that, it looked like it pushed everything, but really that just left a ring. So that was when I took the pipette and I actually, oh no, I used, excuse me, we used the brush for that, didn't we? And we just squeezed out a drop. So that was a drop and that's what happened. Then there's where the lines you see where you come in. And what about once it's dry? Because this is dry now. I mean, for the most part, the paper's slightly damp, but it's pretty dry. If I take my brush pen that has the alcohol in it, remember I said about the highlights? If I wanted to come back through and do some highlights with the pen. So when it was wet, it really worked. But now that it's dry, I'm just gonna like, let me make sure I've got good flow. Okay, it's flowing. All right. I'm just going to do, because I've touched this, I want to make sure it's in an area I haven't touched. So right here, I'm just going to make a quick line. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. We'll just see. Does a line appear? Does it push anything? Does it reactivate? Does it do anything after it's dry? Or if you wanted that, would you have had to do it while it was wet? Does alcohol have to be used while wet? Also important to know. Now, this is where my wax resist was. And what I'm wondering is, if I took, I was like, where did I put it? Over here. My Tombow Mono and came through here, like where that wax was, can I get that color to come off more? Like it's not. So a lot of times, like with the watercolor, once it's dry, like with watercolor, once it's dry, I can come through with water and clean up that wax resist if I wanted to. So water, I don't want a lot of water. This is the brush, the one that came with the set. Can I do that here? Can I clean it up? Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely say so. I will be able to come through here where I put that wax resist. See that? And all I'm doing is wiping this off on a napkin. So piece of kitchen roll, if you would. Yep. See how that's kind of coming off? I'm trying to be careful not to go beyond. Because if I do get into that spot, I see it getting darker, like where I touched. So if I use this to, say, create a seascape and I was trying to do some highlights on water, or like that spray from a wave, I absolutely think that you could come through and then lift out. You see how I could do, I'm not going to do all of it right now, but you can see I could pull out happy birthday. So hopefully that's some valuable information. Wax resist seems to be a good way also, versus then trying to go back and erase what you've done. Another thing that you can try, and I'm not going to do it on the card, I'm going to do it over here. I could take just craft knife, right? And if you're on watercolor paper, like, you know, like sometimes you'll do I can like scratch my paper. I can do that if I wanted to scratch out some highlights. Now, mind you, again, this is going to damage your paper. Be careful you do not go all the way through your paper. You're just trying to, like, your focus is just scraping that surface. Just scraping that surface out. Like you see there, like if I come back, watch, see I cover it back over? Because that's actually a piece of my paper I've chipped up. But if you use that technique in watercolor and you're familiar, yes, you can still use that technique with the Graphitint pans. Right here, I told you we're going to find out if it changes how it looks. I'm going to go with slate green across this. Actually, I want a dark color. I'm going to go with steel blue because I think it'll be darker where I've done this. And that's important to know, because if you do this with the intent that I'm going to lift this out and then I'm going to do another wash over it, that might not be possible. Or if you do, exactly. So you see, like, that's exactly what I figured it would do. If you use that technique to lift, be sure it's the last thing that you do, because your paper, now you've damaged the tooth of the paper. You've damaged that surface. So it is definitely going to leave you a mark there. That's dry. Let's lift this off. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that, what else can we put this through? I showed you that one. And again, you can do like this or like the slice tool. Okay. Another thing I need to link apparently. Like, see, I can come back with the slice tool and try to do some of that. And you see there, it's a little bit. You can get there. How much damage do you want to do? I don't know. Water. I wanted to know the water. That was the other thing. All right, let's see. How does this remove? So first I'm going to do the PBO drawing gum. That's this one. So let's just see if we lift that up. How does that masking want to lift off? And does it leave the weight of our paper preserved? On this paper, so this is the B watercolor paper. That's, I'm really working to get that off of there. Yeah, that's like, I'm really working to get that off of there. You see, like I could try to lift that off with my nail, but I don't think I like how that, I don't like how that did at all. I don't like how it feels on this paper. I know for me personally, I will not use this on this paper again. It might work great on a different paper, but on the B 140-pound watercolor paper, 100% cotton, I'm not using this one on that. I don't like the way that came off. So now let's look at this one. I'm gonna clean my, do you guys do that? Like I'm always stuff on the corners. Okay. It feels like, it almost feels like, I did not let the paper dry long enough. So disregard my opinion here. I didn't let the paper dry long enough. Because here, you see when I'm going gently up there, the way I just did, came right off. It came right off and it came off well. Just brush that away. So this may be that I just didn't give it enough time. I was being impatient because, you know, I want to wrap things up with you guys, but I wanted to know. I would try masking. I would. So maybe I'm going to have to paint what's in my sketchbook and give it a try with these, because I really am liking that. Yes, I'm liking it. This is just another piece of the watercolor paper, just because I wanted to know if we put down, I'm just using my large silver black velvet 3/4 inch oval wash. So I want to put some, I see your question, Tara. We're going to get right there. I'm going to answer that in just a second. So I put this down. I just want it kind of wet. I want to see two things in this right here. One, I want to see when I put one color next to the other, how well do they blend at the edge? So this is wet. I'm going to go with, I'm going with port and dark indigo. Port and dark indigo. I want to see if they're going to give me like a purplish color. So port, which is here. I absolutely do love how they re-wet. And again, I primed them just a little bit before we began. So there's the port, and I want to bring in cleaner water, cleanish water. My dark indigo, which I really like dark indigo. I've used it quite a few times. I think I really like steel blue also. Okay, so we're going to go dark indigo over here. And how well can we get ourselves a little gradient going here? I don't know that they're going to completely give you a nice even wash like that. I'll come back with this one, which again is the port. Right? There we go. And we'll just see how it does. But they do blend. I think I could work them side by side. So I like that. And the other thing that we talked about, and I'm going to let this set for a second, is just coming at it with a spritz of water. Can we move stuff? And you see here, like, you see that? So it didn't blend. Like, it left that color there. So there was nothing special on here. It was just paper. Have you guys experienced that? Like, you see the bubbles? That was just distilled water and the colors. And I am definitely seeing, like, darker at the edge of that side. But That's interesting. That would had no wetting agent, anything like that on it, because I removed that. So let's just a little. Ooh, look at ooh. Oh, I like that. Water works wonderful. I don't know how that's going to dry, but if we look in comparison to what we got with the alcohol, spritzing that water into that wash like that, I like that. That moved it. I think I just got, that was like my most excited about the water on there. There I could see doing a galaxy. So Tara, you asked me, how do I like them? And I gotta tell you, I like them a lot. Like they're so, how do they feel? They are, they go down smooth, like smooth. Um, they definitely feel different. And if you've used these, drop me a comment. Let me know. Do you agree? And it's okay if you don't. We can disagree. That's fine. They are, they definitely feel different than watercolor. They have a completely different feel, even when you're putting them to the page. They are just like, I mean, look at that. They're gorgeous. They are gorgeous. This is, I want to show you, just because of doing that water. I'm going to come in here. Come in here. And we're just going to do it really fast, super fast. Ready? You guys know where I'm going with this? You must. Surely you must. I'm loving the granulation that I'm getting, that I get from them. And in fact, you know what? I'm just going to come over here where that granulation medium is. I'm putting my brush right in it, and I'm just coming back. Will it give me more granulation? I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot left over there. Maybe, maybe not. Picking up a little bit more of that. This is the steel blue, which to me, that steel blue, I mean, just look at that. It's almost black. In its mass tone, it's almost black. Meadow is my favorite color, I think. Meadow's beautiful. I could definitely see, like, well, painting a meadow. Very clever there, Derwent. I think these would be great for landscape. I think they'd be wonderful. I just really made my clean water very dirty. I'm going to the aubergine. So let's drop some aubergine in here. I know that this is going to mix. I don't care. Coming back for some more aubergine. I'm just trying to do this quickly. And so you see, when I come back quickly with a lot of that water, I'm making bubbles. So it's got to be something within these paints that let it do that. Something that's in the binder with the, or with, in combination with the graphite. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, thank you, Jacqueline. I hope we will see you next time. We're just about done. So we're going to put in some port in the center. This again gives us that like pinkish. Okay. Let it do its thing. And now I'm coming back to the steel blue and just dropping more color in here. I just want to see how it moves. Dropping some more color in. That question about granulating spray, I definitely will get a sprayer and we will see if we can do that with what we have. Not today, but we will see. Now I'm just going to kind of tip this and see if I can't move that, let that paint kind of shift and move for me a little bit. So I'm not really liking so much of the lines. You never use them. Oh my gosh, Teresa, let me tell you, I would definitely, I can't believe that I have taken this long to use them. And I wish I would have used them sooner so I could have loved them longer. They're gorgeous. I love them. Yes, so Tara, you asked, do I like them? I love them. I'm going to let this sit for a moment. I'm going to give a spritz. So there's the card. Let me show you while this is setting for a moment. Are you ready for this? This is Holbein soft tape. So you see here where it really pulled up here. It really pulled over here. Are you ready? I'm not even using my heat tool to heat that up, and look. Let's just get that, like, so satisfying. Satisfying peel of the tape. These I put extra on to hold it, but ready? And this tape was tape I used for a second time. This wasn't even the first go with this tape. This was just sitting on my desk from last week's cards that I made, and I thought, well, I'll just reuse the tape. So I got a little bleeding here, but again, that was tape that was reused. This side right here, this was the piece that I took fresh off the roll, first time it was used. Ready? So there you go. Can you reuse it? Well, maybe not if you don't mind. But look how clean that edge is. That was the first time I used the tape. Look how much that pulled a ton. It does not leak. Holbein soft tape. Huge shout out to Sarah Cray. Thank you so much for turning me on to it because I love it. It is linked in the description below. And of course, this is my card. This is my Strathmore watercolor card, and I can score it there, but fold it there. But before I do, like, I'm going to come back and I'm going to clean this up. I might do some more on here, I'm sure. And I'll probably flatten it out because you see, it's just a little... If I would have taped it to the board, I didn't tape it to the board. It probably would have been a bit better. So, there's that. Now let's take our quick, fast little starry sky. Are you ready? And we are just gonna throw some stars in there. And I love that I can pull this back. My mister, I'm pulling it way back here. And I'm letting fine mist. Or I can come in and I got some larger drops. So I'm going to let that set. And then what I could also do, see how it just, look at that. So here's the one. This I can touch. The paper's not dry yet, but I'm not lifting color. So you see there? Water. Oh my gosh, me too. Steven, me too. 100%. I'm like trying to get that to pop up on the screen. It's one of my favorite things. So look at, can you see how you could do a galaxy with these? And then I'll come back when this is dry. If I needed to darken my edges or do another layer, you saw how they layered up when we did the card. There was the color we mixed underneath, and look at it just coming through. It is coming through all over the place. When I came back and did, I don't even know. Oh, when I was blending stuff, I moved that. Do they have a shimmer when dry? I'm not seeing a ton of shimmer. I bet these would photograph pretty decent. I mean, you see how that's moving there. Little bit of reflection, because see how when I tip it down, little bit of reflection when it hits the lights. That right there is more conducive to like what I see on my side, looking straight on at the card. So it's like that. These are beautiful. Granulation medium. Boom. Look at that. Wonderful. Highly recommend. If you haven't, try it. Play with it. I did that granulation medium that was on the palette. I added it back in here, and I can tell you that I'm already seeing, because remember, this was steel blue. It was this first one. And you see the granulation that happened just right out of the palette. Look at what we're getting. Let me keep this flat as I can. Do you see how much we're getting now in that color? Like that's exciting. I like that. And I love how the water works when it's wet. Now that this is dry, let me just see, because that's another thing we did not do. Once it's dry, not bone dry, but I can touch this and I'm not lifting color. It's still cool to the touch, so I know my paper's still wet. All right, so we're going to take that and then watch. I want to know, can I put a drop of water? I'm going to let that set there for a moment, and let's just see, is it going to activate enough like with watercolor? So I just put it right here. You see where it's wet. Where that is, if this was watercolor, that would give a bloom and it would push. We'll do it here. We'll let that set for a moment. Tara says, check my swatches. See if they shimmer. So, all right. Steel blue has a little bit of a shimmer to it. A few of them do. Not much. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh, they're like metallic. They're not. They would not be. But you know how graphite has that sheen? So shimmer versus sheen, there's a little bit in there. See if it picks up. So that's pretty much what I see when I'm looking straight down at the colors. If I tip this and move it around, I don't know if you guys are going to pick up on any, because right here, I definitely saw it here in that steel blue. Like, it had a little bit more shimmer. So, oh, and look, see slate gray? Watch slate gray as I move that over. Like, has a little bit. So there is like a little bit of like what you get when you think just straight up graphite. You have that shine. There's a little bit there, but not as strong as just regular graphite. So I hope that helps. I think that's going to look really neat. I'll mess with that. I'll put another layer on, and I'll even grab some of the Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White, and maybe I'll do a couple little stars, like spatter some stars in there so that you guys can see that. If you notice here too, where the paper, because this is cotton paper, as wet as I got that, you see the cotton is absorbing it out, so it's creeping, but it's really faint. But just so you know, that can happen. Same thing happened here. Look at how it kind of creeped off. And still, so that's still quite wet. But if this was regular watercolor, I'd already be seeing that move. And I'm not really. So what if I tried to lift it now that the water has sat there? No. See, not really. It's not really affecting it after the fact. They're not permanent once they're done. And Tara was saying they can lift and like see, like they can transfer. If I rub this, just like if I rubbed graphite. Let me put my hands up here so focus. See how you get that little bit of transfer? So that can happen. Wow, I hope that really kind of put those through the gamut for you and helped you see what could you try with your graphitint. You know, what else? There's the color palette again. And I do think if I was patient, I would definitely be trying the masking again. In fact, I think because, and I will show you, so we didn't get there. This is my Paul Rubens sketchbook. And I had, so I was at the lake and Lou was out on the boat. And I was just like, I was looking at the edge of the water, and at the edge of the water were all these grasses, and there was a dragonfly sitting there. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. And then I was like, this was like goldenrod here and here. And this was just grass, you know, with the fuzzy tops. And not like cat nine tails. If you know, anyway, irrelevant. So it was like, this was all the lake, and then there was this, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to put that, mask it out, and then I'll just do a wash for the lake Then once it dries, later I can be back at the studio. I could take this off and then my grass would be white and I could do the details of the grass here in the studio. So that was my thought with plein air. As soon I was waiting for this to dry and I was out taking pictures and reference photos for patrons, and here he comes on the boat. I was like, great. I was just about to paint. Like I had just filled my water. I was ready to go. Anyways, so I didn't get there. So I thought that would have been a good one to try. But that was with the PBO because I wanted to test it out. And so that is the Paul Rubens 100% cotton hot press watercolor paper in that sketchbook. Will it make a difference? I don't know, but I think I am going to still go through seeing these colors. I just think these will be beautiful for the lake. I think the russet would make gorgeous. That is the color those grasses were. And yeah, I think I could really get like some of the greens with meadow. I'm going to give it a try. So I'll have to do that and film it and put up a video for you guys when I finish it. I like them. My opinion, I love them. I cannot wait to use them some more. Is there something that you do with your Graphitint paint pans to get special effects that I haven't done here? If you do, please, excuse me, drop me a comment below and let me know, because I want to know. I want to try it. I want to see what else can we do. Tomorrow, live chat on schedule for patrons. I will see you there. I'm not sure what we'll be talking about yet, but I'm sure you guys will tell me when we get there. Whatever comes up. We have a fun time. That's every Friday. One of the lowest tiers on Patreon gets you that. And we have a great time. We have been having a really good time. So yeah, if something that interests you, I know the link is in the description. Join us. Join us right here every Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Huge thank you to Tara and Joseph, who have done some excellent modding today and putting the links up and things like that. So thank you both. Their links to their channel are in the description. If you haven't seen what they're doing, check them out. Just the stream is every Monday at same time I do, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And I mod for him. So I will see you over there in the chat if you want to join us. Just follow the link below and you can get there. So that's every Monday. Tara's putting out some great videos. If you haven't seen hers, check it out. I did a collaboration with her. Those videos are available on both of our channels to see what we did. And this was a great... I had so much fun. Thank you guys for joining me. Thanks for hanging out with me. And thanks for... I know it's late again, but I had fun. I learned a ton. I hope you guys did too. If Graphitint is new to you, and you've been considering the Graphitint Paint Pans by Derwent, I say go for it. These are awesome. This little travel palette, I love this. I am definitely cannot wait to do more with them. Try them. If you have them and you haven't used them, like took me forever, oh my gosh. Pull those out, grab a scrap piece of paper, and just swatch them. Because just when I did my swatches, I was thrilled. I was thrilled. You're going to learn so much even just by swatching them. So, have a great weekend. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to pop another video up and it's going to appear, I don't know, somewhere right about there. And you can check that out next. After the stream's finished, I'll get that link squared away for you. But until next time, guys, keep creating and I will see you next Thursday. Bye. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being with me.